boys from Osun State. They were so close, but it didn't just happen for them. And now, before we call on His Excellency to give the winners their honor, let's remind you that the governor, Akinwumi Ambode, has given to the first place winners 2 million naira. Second place, the boys from Osun, 1.5 million. The boys from Ekiti, 1 million, and the school from Lagos State, 500,000 naira. Please let's appreciate the governor. Thank you so much, sir. Can we have the boys from LGEA Central Primary School from Kayama in Kwara State? Please let's give them a round of applause. They are the champions of season 10 of the Channels International Kids Cup. Thank you so much, sir, for coming. Where are the boys from Kwara? Please let's give them a round of applause. Our champions for season 10.
Hello and welcome to Channel Sport on Sunday. And I tell you, that was season 10 in 2018. And in the LG Primary School, Kayama, they came, they saw, and they conquered. And they became the champions of Channels International Kids Cup. So, like we said, starting from May the 27th, yes, May 2009, we started so modestly. And then the thing was for kids in Lagos, when primary schools in Lagos to come together and have their day, because Children's Day is their day. And how better could they have been celebrating than create that platform for them? The dream of our chairman and the team came together and said, this is what we are going to do. I look back to that day. May 27th, 2009. And of course, every time we talk about the dream of the chairman of, how he came in to do all this. But most time we seldom mention that the vice chairman herself, the role she played, the motherly role, actively involved on that particular day. I keep on looking at her, keep on seeing running around, the souvenirs, to make sure that the kids are happy, everything is done. And then as at that time, we thought, okay, we are starting. Nobody imagined that 12 years later, we'll be talking about that. It has gone beyond the shores of Lagos. It has conquered Nigeria, became a national event, and also the sub-region of West Africa. So today, a lot of those persons who have come together, even if 2019, COVID said you couldn't celebrate it on this day. You couldn't have it in the last week of May of 2020 to have that season 12 of this particular competition. We do hope that, yes, like I said, I don't know, because sometimes when you are being hopeful, you don't concern yourself. You don't consider the resignation and said, oh, this cannot be done. We have not cancelled this event. 2020 is still ongoing. Just keep your hands crossed, and I hope that we could get it there. So we are celebrating. We are celebrating what would have been celebrated on Wednesday. Would have been the 27th. Would have crowned a new champions, but it is not yet. It is not yet done. I want to say it so. It's not yet done. So we'll take our time to look back at those other years, how the kids have evolved, what has happened. Last week on this show, we had a call from South Africa, from Ida Peterside, a former national Super Eagles goalkeeper, and he asked, "What happened to the kids? Immediately, do you put them together? Do you want this? How do you just harness them after you allow them to go?" Of course, we don't keep them. They are not our kids. They come from various parts of Nigeria and Africa, but then we monitor their progress. Some of them, this day we should be able to give you one or two of how they've progressed after emerging among the best, either the MVP, or because at the end of the every tournament we have the team, apart from having the top goal scorer, the best goalkeeper, the best midfielder, the best striker, which is the guy who scores more. We also have the MVP, the guy with the golden ball. So the team of the tournament, how have they progressed? Even those who didn't, at that point excel, but after then, what went on? So we take a look at those ones and then we move on and also grab what is happening in the world of sport now. Like we said, in England, we've said we're talking about waiting for the big three, but right now the dates are out for when they are to resume. The date for the APL and all sports in England, the date for La Liga, the date for Serie A. So I mean, the top three added to the Bundesliga. I was saying this is when we are starting. Some of them they want to play the Copa before they play the league, but all well and done. It is a certainty that come June 17th, yes, at the Etihad Stadium, I don't know what is going to happen there because it will be the master versus the apprentice, the mentor versus the mentee. It will be the team, you understand, that has brought most of their stars into there. And let us see there'll be a reversal. So we'll look at all those things. Well, we've been, in the past 2 weeks, we've been going through the national sports policy. We'll continue today. We'll look at administration. What does the policy say? I mean, what guidelines are there for us to follow if we want to have an effective and result-oriented sports administration in Nigeria? So basically, that one is there. The money team, what motivates man? Forget whatever it is the money. Why do you leave your house to go? Why do you leave that to go? Maybe our footballers or our boxers going to the ring. It is the money. How do you, maximizing your talents, in sport. So we look at the money, the rich list, and I tell you, it is the old horse. It is the guy that Jimmy can dream and sleep with. Jimmy can talk anything about him and tell him he's the greatest sportsman of all time. Because even as he's aging, I think he's about 38 or so, he has earned more than any other athlete in the past 12 months. And that is the man. Of course, he has an African blood in him. Probably maybe that is why that longevity is also there. So we'll look at all these, and I tell you, it will be a bumper edition. We should open the lines, you join the discussion, and we hear from you. But my guys are in the house. Before we start looking at the past winners of the Kids Cup, Jimmy, you're welcome to the show.
Ever a pleasure to be here.
Yeah.
And definitely when it's about Roger Federer,
Okay, and I want to call the names.
Studio alike. When you talk about Roger Federer,
yes.
You've got to think about what he's done for the children of Africa. In terms of charity, he's done a lot for people that still live in South Africa and other parts of Africa like Ethiopia and some other places. His Roger Federer Foundation really has done a lot as regards that. So we don't want to talk just about the money he's made. I mean, when you talk about $106 million, that's huge. That's, ridiculously massive. So I'm not going to wax lyrical. I'll try not to.
Come back. I deliberately did that. I hope you understand.
Really, you can't take that away. Good afternoon, viewers. And good to be back here again. You can't take that away from Roger Federer. He's not just a tennis legend.
Yeah.
He's a sportsman with a unique persona. A charisma, no scandal, nothing on and off the court.
Double twins.
You see his calm demeanor. Yeah. And that's why you see corporations, blue chips company, running after him for endorsement.
Identifying with that brand.
And identifying with the Federer brand.
Yeah.
And that's why, and even on the court, is so, he has this grace and panache that will love you to want to watch the game of tennis. So he's been able to rake in over 100 million in sponsorships, beating the likes of Cristiano Ronaldo and Lionel Messi. Yes, you might say, it's because of the pandemic, because Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo, they've taken pay cut, and that has actually affected them. That's what has taken Roger Federer.
No, but I think 12, did it include the last few months?
Yes,
I mean, is it March? It's not. I think it's ended March.
It was up to March.
Yes.
So it's the pay cut that has actually taken Roger, because if you look at it, Roger Federer is on 106.
We'll get those details out and see. So basically, that is what we'll talk about that, and then like we are saying, the money. Which was that movie? There's this sport movie. A guy saying, Harry Maguire say, "Show me the money. Show me the money." It is the money. There is nothing that motivates a man more. I remember our Super Eagles. Look, it is even the federation said to motivate them. Sometimes you pay them their bonuses in advance. So even before you go and collect your match bonus, so that you can play. But not everything is not about money. The self-esteem. When you look at the Maslow principle, the Maslow law of moving from the basics to up there, you'll find out that yes, it is not just money for survival, but what else can if you don't don't have that self-satisfaction, that self-esteem, that over there, what is money? But money takes you there. Without money, you wouldn't get there most of the time. So let's start with the Kids Cup. Like I said, let's look at the past winners of the Kids Cup, starting from 2009, when we started in that level at Onikon Stadium right here in Lagos. Let us look at the list of those past winners and see how we have progressed from then. I think when just where it's called, that did a double and in there, if it is ready. So, gentlemen, while we are trying to look at that particular list, this is 2012. One of the objectives set, for this, what we are going to go at is like, okay, the list is out.
University of Lagos Staff School, Akoka, took the first edition.
The inaugural edition?
The inaugural edition.
That was in 2009.
Followed by Lady Lag Primary School, Bariga, also in Lagos.
Yeah.
Unilag, got the second
Came
one
back
in
again.
2011.
Yeah.
And in 2012, it was Ikeja Central Primary School. That was 2012. 2013, it went to Delta State.
That was one went national. The first 4 editions were in Lagos.
Yeah.
We're in Lagos. So when we went national, it was the boys from Ogedegbe. Yeah.
So 2014, it was Storybat Primary School, Lagos.
It came back to Lagos, yeah.
Yes.
So, I mean,
And in 2015,
2015.
It was Enyanuge Primary School, Edo State.
Yeah.
Edo is very famous for the exploits in sports.
Yeah.
LGA Mohammed Kabir Primary School, Kaduna, took the 2016 edition. And African Church Central Primary School, Ogun State, had the one for 2017. 2018, it was Kayama LGA Central Primary School, Kwara. Last year, it was Baham Model Primary School, River State.
They came from Port Harcourt. So in 2020, you can see the question marks. No questions asked, no answered, no answered yet. We just in a bear what is going to happen. So we are in suspense. We keep in suspense too, because that is exactly what we are saying. That in 2020, will it or will it not? To be or not to be. I think that was the question. Okay, so like I said, Ida Peters, I did call last week and said, Channels Kids Cup, what have you guys been doing? What happened to the kids after the competition? Let's see, because they win the MVP of 2013. Koma Million. He moved on and went into Rangers International. That is him. And then he became a youth player for Rangers International, not as a full-fledged then. And then at the inaugural edition of the La Liga...
yes, the MPFL La Liga under 15.
Under 15.
He played for Rangers.
Rangers youth team.
Rangers youth team.
Like
and as you can see, that's Mutiu Adepoju, the La Liga ambassador. And that
was in 2013.
That was exactly.
With the then governor of Delta State,
yes.
Odwanha, who came in, he was there and he was so proud, the proud father.
Yes.
And then my son, this is my son in whom I am well pleased.
Exactly.
Ogedegbe Primary School.
Ogedegbe Primary School.
Worry.
Koma Million. And then he went, when did that inaugural edition now of the MPFL La Liga youth tournament.
Exactly.
There he is. He became the top scorer and also became the MVP, the most valuable player of that team. Also, that team was also sent to South Africa.
Absolutely.
They went to South Africa where they played the
Super Sport under 13.
Under 13.
Exactly. They played the Super Sport under 13 where they played the likes of Super Sport United, Highlands FC,
yes.
Orlando Pirates, Kaiser Chiefs, and
Jomo Cosmos.
Yeah.
So they moved on. Peter, I hope Mr. Peter Saria is watching, because they came to South Africa, they came to your domain, and you are conversant with this team, and so they came in there. Then we moved on to the in 2015.
In 2015, that was that picture with the then governor.
This was
this is Koma, the then governor of Delta State.
Yes.
That's talking about
Koma Williams.
That's Peter Joel.
Peter Joel played in 2015.
Yeah.
In 2015, and he was part of the
with Nana Primary School.
Yes,
in Warri.
In Warri.
So he was voted the MVP.
Yes, and
of the 2019 edition of the
there he is when he went to Spain. He went to Spain, and also at the same La Liga, something he emerged. Look at it, he emerged the MVP. He's the guy there with the white and the white stripe. You know, so that is a Peter Joel. So he also emerged as MVP at that particular tournament. So you see that they moved. You know, when we select the best,
Exactly.
you know, when from this platform, they go on to excel afterwards. We are tracking others because we're talking about from 2009 to now. But this is just an example because just in response to that particular phone call we had last week and said yes. Here are how they are moving. They are entering into the academies of most of the Premier League clubs in Nigeria. You know, and then so also and other ones
Ken,
here.
you said something at the beginning about the objective of the Channels Kids Cup
Yes.
itself. One of the main objectives, because we saw it as an age grade competition, under 13, you must be in school. We wanted to eradicate age cheat because we've seen that has been a major problem for Nigerian football over the years. You see us doing well at under 17 level, at under 20 level, and we've not been able to make it to the quarterfinals of the World Cup. So what are we talking about? Let's come back to the drawing board and put up a competition where there will be zero tolerance to age cheat.
Exactly.
They must be in school. And I think Channels has lived up to expectation. You know, like we said, the first 4 years was done
within Lagos.
When we saw that, went well, we went national. Other states came and they started taking the cup out of Lagos. After that, we went to the west coast of Africa. And you can see that if not for the pandemic, we would have been talking about another champion this year.
By today.
And if in close to 10 years of over 10 years of this competition, if the MVP has players have gone on to play in the National League, I think a lot of kudos must go to Channel, the sponsors, the people who have provided the platform. NFF has actually adopted this particular tournament. The T.Y. Danjuma Foundation, all the people who have supported Channels in making this happen. I think a lot of kudos has to go.
Yes, that is Peter Joel.
Peter Joel, was in the team of the tournament in 2015. Channels International Kids Cup with Nana Primary School Warrior, just like Yemi stated. It was voted the MVP of that particular competition and also the one for the MPFL La Liga under 15 promises with Delta Force FC. And the question really is, what exactly has the NFF been doing with its under 15 competition? I think there's a clamor for them to do a lot more to ensure as much as possible the age grade. We see the conveyor belt. And the progression should be natural. Natural in the sense that we talk about the conveyor belt. If we don't begin to have it now, we'll continue to look for players outside the shores of the country. If you have a proper league, if you have everything done as much as possible on the domestic front, we'll have a lot more going for us. We'll have football more treated as a business. We have more of these players. We'll be able to track them more. We'll see the progress and we'll be able to align more with what Channels has been able to do and how NFF has been able to work with Channels to harness the potentials of these boys.
And again, this is a call to other private organizations because, yes, we've seen it. The sport has been left to government over the years, and we've not gotten any result. Where are the youth fund competitions of this world? The Nipoga, the Nuga, even the National Sports Festival was left on held for over 4 years.
For 7 years.
For 7 years. That's why I said
2019.
It took the federal government to say, oh, okay, Abuja is good, the FCT is going to host.
Yes.
So what are we talking about? When there are no competition for athletes to attend,
where is the
avenue for them to express themselves? So, like Jimmy said, I think a lot needs to be done in terms of natural progression and monitoring of these players, so that at least, even if in a particular competition you are able to get 6 good players, move on to the next thing. I think that is a good pass mark.
Because you can see these kids here. I think this was
raw talent.
In that raw, exactly.
The excitement you see from those boys if you are there at the stadium. At least right from the inaugural edition, Jimmy and I, the likes of Nodi, and were there running commentary. So we saw these boys.
Life.
As in life,
and
growing.
Something unmissable is the zeal, the commitment to the cause by also the coaches.
And you must give it to them.
We have to give it to the coaches because you see the passion. You see, there are some of these coaches, they seem to overreact at times. And it's based on the passion. It's not as if that's who they are naturally, but because they want to go back home with results.
Okoyemi Ajala bought a form
for
his primary school.
Yes. So it just shows that if we provide the government provides the enabling environment, and the private sector does what they're supposed to do, the PPP structure concept is something that we need to pursue, and it can actually work. People have seen that Channels has been accountable.
Yeah.
You see the jerseys, you see where we keep the players,
Yeah.
monitoring them right from where they're coming from their state. Once they get into Lagos, they become the property of Channels.
Yes.
And we see governors gracing the finales of those things. I think
Evander Holyfield was there 2 years ago.
We see a lot of the national team players, not even just footballers, but sportsmen.
Sportsmen.
They all come in there. We saw Henry Wosu there. I think
Obafemi Martins.
Obafemi Martins, inspiring the young ones.
Inspire them. Let them know that you can do it, and you can make as much money as Federer. You can make as much money as Lionel Messi if you excel. A lot of figures are banding there. We are hearing, hello. They say in China, say, come, we'll pay you £400,000 per week. Sometimes you don't want to press those figures on your calculator.
And it started here.
If you multiply that into months and that into a year,
somewhere close to
they'll give you error.
Some calculator will give you error.
And to think that he's an AJ boy.
Of course, coming from the hood, coming from the jungle city, and then he's up there realizing his dream at the Theatre of Dreams. We'll talk about John Obi Mikel, what he has achieved, even Okocha himself as a cult hero at Bolton. Can you believe it? Can you? Nwankwo destroying Chelsea within 3 minutes with three unreplied goals right there at Stamford Bridge to give Arsenal that victory and crowning. The Obafemi Martins, of course, I remember that final where against Arsenal where they have to give him the ball. I've just said the positive. Are you gagging me not to say? They were talking about Nigeria now. It doesn't matter who they did it to. So these things do happen. But I think as we are doing that, you get the benefit and what you earn. You have that satisfaction to say you can take care of yourself, you can take care of your family, you can be useful to your society and put it there. So when you harness your talent, when you get the best out of your talent, I tell you, we're not talking about Disney heights. We're talking about being in the clouds.
So beyond the individual, it's even like a cycle. Okay, look at the likes of Didier Drogba. What he's been able to do for his community. Look at the likes of Sadio Mane, having hospitals. Look at what they've been able to do during this pandemic.
Didier Drogba went beyond providing facilities. The country was at war. You understand? And Didier Drogba brought peace. Took the nation and said, we are not going to play in Bouake. We're going to play at the other side. And then they came together and then they embraced themselves as a symbol of peace.
And see George Oponwe. So that's what we're saying. Sport unifies. Sport allows you to achieve your dream. The government should please provide the enabling environment for our people to thrive.
But that is what we are saying here. The government should do, and then also, like say, we talked about, we looked at about how much has been budgeted, what is being spent on the needs, and then you need to do a needs analysis for you to know where you put your money where it is really needed.
Absolutely.
You don't just go over there. That what we're talking about. The government have tried for over 30, 40 years shouldering professional football in Nigeria. Give it back to the people. We can't say, it is now, of course, we can't just tell government hands off. Let the people, like I said, provide an agreement. So that private clubs, you understand, can also, and
private
not just private football club. We'll look at the policy.
Yeah.
Go on.
But there's still the need to talk about accountability, because if you say government should provide the enabling environment, we've got to also consider the fact that most times what we have is that sporting properties in this part, they do not seem to be either accountable or do they take into cognizance the need for probity?
But if it's a private concern, if it's a private business, because it's supposed to be a private business.
Definitely.
We're talking about accountability now because it's for your own business.
Absolutely. You can't be running a club and not render an audit or have a statement of account to let us know how have you done versus the budget.
All right. I want to go on a very short break, and when we come back, we'll start with the sport policy just from when we stopped last week. Stay with us.
The boys from Kwara that will be going first in this shootout. The boys from Kwara, we will try to give you the number.
But Wahab Tajuddin, the goalkeeper of African Church, is waiting.
And looks like it's number 4 for Burhanuddin Moshood Abdusalami. Jesse, number 4. Is he ready to give his team the lead? And it's a good goal by that player. So it's 1-0 advantage in shootout And of course, the boys from African Church will be looking to respond with the next sports kick.
Penalty number one, and of course, goal number one. So let's see what happens to African Church Primary School as their player will now face the goalkeeper of Burhanuddin Primary School. I'm talking of Inda Moses. Ball is positioned. We're here to confirm the number, but definitely a player of African Church facing Inda Moses of Burhanuddin. And it has been lost.
It actually went into the net.
Oh, great one for him.
Number 16.
So, one goal apiece, one penalty kick, one goal each by both sides.
All right, so next up for Burhanuddin. Looks like he's one of their tall players. We're trying to confirm the number for you, Jesse, number 5. And his name is David Okoromi. He needs to beat the goalkeeper, and he does that
in a very stylish manner.
And in a very, very simple way. So it's 2-1.
From the second penalty kick. And let's see the second attempt by African Church Primary School. The school that was founded in 1938. That say they equally want to win this title, just as Burhanuddin are aiming to win. The player positions the ball.
Jesse number 2.
His name is Olalere Johnson. Olalere Johnson, number 2 man. And he scores beautifully, beating Inda Moses perfectly. Wow, you wonder why, how kids of primary school age, score such lovely kicks.
They've been watching a lot of TV, so I'm not surprised. And of course, they learn a lot from these guys. Jesse number 12.
Is going to be giving them the trophy.
What about the check? Don't want to join.
Okay, so by Sheyi Akiwumi, we will be giving out the first prize trophy. But before we do that, first Vice President, let's have the check. Because by the time these guys leave this trophy, they will scatter this place. Let's have the check first. On behalf of T.Y. Danjuma Foundation, the champions are going on with 2 million naira.
To be the best, number one and nothing less. Lead me to my destiny.
So
I have waited.
Let's keep it loud. Let's cheering them. The boys from Ogun State Central Primary School. Let's go. They are the champions.
Stand up.
Let's go.
For the champion.
Let's go.
For the champion.
Let's go.
Stand up.
Trophy.
Stand up.
Trophy.
Stand up.
Let's go.
For the champion.
The is standing.
For the champion. Stand up. For the champions. For the champions. Stand up.
Okay. So the first Vice President of the NFF is ready with the captain of the team. So ladies and gentlemen, the winners of the first international edition, Channels, the boys from Africa Central Primary School, Ogun State.
For the champion.
Wow. The boys then from Ogun State. And then when they won that, and it was marvelous to the eyes. And you saw them picking up that check of 2 million naira, courtesy of T.Y. Danjuma Foundation. It is not, they don't give them the money as cash. They use it to put on, because we say, part of this, part of the problems at the bane of sport in Nigeria has been inadequate facilities, the presence of facilities at schools. We look at the sport policy and say before you grant a school a license to operate, you should look at what sport space they have. either the plan for sporting facilities or the one they already have in place. So T.Y. Danjuma Foundation tells them, look, if we give you this money, give us a project that is worth this. We'll come to your school and then we'll supervise the project and we'll do it together for you. So maybe in the next few editions also, we shall bring some of those projects that were completed, and commissioned. I know that Ogun State, there was one, I think it was the deputy governor then who did that, and then it was something beautiful. So before I go to my guys in the house back, let us continue with our take on the our national sport policy. Let's look at talking about the administration of sports in Nigeria. What is the roadmap that roadmap that we're supposed to take if we want to go get to that particular El Dorado that we all are thinking, that we all are hoping and aspiring to be. If it is ready, we can take that. But the guys are in the house. Our administration has been part. Okay, that's the guidelines.
4.1.
Yeah.
Administration and management. Successful organization of sports requires effective and efficient management skills and structures. While such responsibility lies principally with the national sports federations and state sports associations, local government sports departments and committees, stakeholders' efforts shall be harmonized to achieve higher standards in administration and management. Hence, the National Sports Commission shall seek to A, strengthen administrative capacity of the national sports federations and the state sports associations, local government sports departments and committees. B, develop and strengthen club structure. C, put in place measures that will enable sports federations, state sports associations, local government sports departments and committees and clubs to establish systems for record keeping and data management. D, put in place management boards for sports federations, state sports associations, local government sports departments and committees and clubs to strengthen their financial management and accountability systems. E, develop a mechanism to monitor effective management of sporting bodies. F, sport authorities at the national, state, and local government levels shall undertake periodic assessment of sporting activities to check weaknesses, capacity gaps, and adopt appropriate program to correct them. Program of action to correct them. G, shall endeavor as much as possible that the Director General of the NSC shall be a sports technocrat, a person with sufficient and cognitive expertise. H, shall ensure that centers of excellence are established across the 6 geopolitical zones of the country. I, shall maximize a bilateral and multilateral relation with other countries that can help Nigeria's sports development.
So now we'll now move into that administration. Let's quickly continue with the finance and sponsorship. Let's just continue with that so that we can now superimpose both and then discuss what that one says. Because as with all endeavors, like we're saying, yes, we have said it here. Okay, go on, Jimmy. You can continue.
Finance and sponsorship.
Yeah.
As with all other endeavors, finance and sponsorship are vital requirements for sports development at all levels. The relatively high overhead costs associated with financing sports programs, camping, training, and competitions continue to hinder its development. Hence, it is necessary to encourage greater financial support for sporting activities. The NSC, its agencies, and affiliates shall seek to A, encourage private sector and national sporting bodies to develop collaborative relationships which can realize the economic value and viability of funding sports programs, camping, training, and competition. B, offer incentives that will encourage financial assistance from the private sector for sports programs. C, undertake fundraising programs to enhance financing of the activities. D, encourage the private sector to contribute to development of sports or identify with a specific sport with a view to enhancing development of the sport through private sector funding of specified programs and activities. E, the private sector to contribute to development of sport as a way of social responsibility to their host communities and identification with specific sports with a view to developing the sport. F, work closely with NEPAD Nigeria and the National Planning Commission to effectively utilize the base for foreign aid available to the institution of sports by the United Nations under Article 57, subsection 7, with the recognition of NEPAD Africa and our programs in member countries.
Okay, all right. First, like we said, we did go through, we've been trying to study this, and then also there are some few misconceptions too, because this Article 57.7 is actually not an article of the United Nations. It is a resolution.
Yes.
It's a resolution of the United Nations. It is not an article. So why, this every 10 years, why they are doing the next review, they should take most of these things into consideration. But we can some of the meat here. Adopt a sport, adopt a talent.
Yeah.
It is already there in D.
Yes.
Where they say encourage the private sector to contribute to development of sports or identify with a specific sport. You understand?
It had always been there.
So it has always been there since 2009 in the sport policy. Although we have not really taken a greater look at it to see how we shall benefit through this.
Really, on this finance and sponsorship, because we've always said funding is one major problem.
Yeah.
And there's no gainsaying the fact that we kind of emphasize enough that government alone cannot do it with respect to funding.
Yeah.
We looked at the the appropriation, the estimate for 2019-2020. We saw that out of the 172 billion marked, the NYSC alone is taking 162 billion, leaving just about 11 billion for sport. And that's not even for sport, because out of that amount, 94.6% is going to overhead costs. So there is nothing left for the federation.
You have the NIS, you have the leadership, you have the leadership center, you have the Nigerian Football Federation as cost centers.
There is nothing left for to do the core job of sports development.
Yes.
But again, now coming to this finance and sponsor, you see them use the word encourage private sector, undertake fundraising program. The private sector should contribute. They should adopt a sport. They should do this. What is there for the private sector to leverage?
Yes. What is there to leverage on?
If I'm going to put my money somewhere, I too must be getting something in return.
I think on both sides.
Can we invite our viewers to join the discussion?
Absolutely.
Okay. I think we can invite you guys to join us, and then for those of you, this is what we're talking about here: sports development as the nitty-gritty. We look at the youth, the grassroots. We look at the China's Kids Cup, how far we've gone in the past 12 years, 12th edition that we are on. We've been on this, and also, like we said, Europe is opening up. Formula One starting in Austria. We'll talk about that. Austria, they're going on July 5th and July 12th. They're going to be 2 races. So they're overtaking Silverstone because UK is saying, if you want to come in here, we're going to quarantine you for 2 weeks. But Austria, I think they've talked, and they're even going to serve about 10% of the fans.
So Ken, before we get our first caller, and I'm going to just give an example for something very close to us. Okay, look at football, for example. And I'm going to use Shooting Stars as an example. You see governors coming in and out. Every 4 years, every 8 years, they appoint an administrator to lead the club. Government budget money, no account is being made at the beginning of the year to say, oh, this is how much we are going to spend. This is how much we are going to get from gate takings. This is how much we've gotten in sponsorship. This is how much we are going to get from shirt sponsorship. Everything. We see how all these things are done in times where they see sport for what it is, which is business. Until government itself first see sport as not a tool of propaganda and as business, we will never reach that potential.
But I don't think you can go into that without talking about administration and management.
And that's what I'm saying.
Talk about
which is the bedrock.
That's the bedrock.
Benga Daniel did Ogun State, the national Gateway. That was about the first national sports festival where privately funded, and they even made profit.
Okay, I think we have a caller on the line. Hello. All the way from Kano. Oh, Kogi. Okay, Kogi. All right, hello. Are we there? Okay, so we lost the call.
So, Ken, whenever we are starting any cycle of China's Kids Cup, there is always a budget. There is always a budget. And when the channel, why can't the system be properly structured? There is always a budget. And when the competition ends, there is always a book of account to show what has been spent. So sponsors see leverage. So how do you encourage people to come and put in their money when you don't account for such money? Nobody will do that.
That's what we are saying. What we are saying here is that we are even talking much of an accountability because we are saying these are all like parastatals. Like I said, who is going to ask Manchester United for accountability? I mean, it is.
But they still give accounts.
No, you don't understand what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say is that it is their business, and then you look, their books are clear. Apart from Sunshine Stars and maybe Kano Pillars, I mean, which other clubs in Nigeria will tell you they will give you the
in and out of players?
The attendance. giving you attendance, which is a prerequisite. I mean, the very first step, the mundane step, the basic step to you to take that. Say, how acceptable are
exactly.
you? Are you getting me? So,
go into issues of numbers.
yes.
In terms of whether gate takings, in terms of attendance, in terms of even sponsorship.
No, he's talking
money
about
and all that.
accountability.
We need to talk first about the structure. If the club structure, if the management structure is not gotten right, then you are probably
Because
talking to the wrong ears.
Jimmy, Shooting Stars.
Yes.
Shooting Stars played at the final of an African I think
In 1992.
1992. Yeah. They lost in the final.
Yes.
They came back and the governor dissolved the club. I mean, it is that is it, and we applauded. The governor, a team that played in the final of a competition,
Yes.
they came back. The governor dissolved the man. In fact, disbanded.
Disbanded the
What they
team.
disbanded?
Yeah.
They disbanded the club.
team, yeah.
I mean, so these are the kind of thing where you say you personalize.
Yes.
When you personalize the structure as sport-loving governor, in fact, if we can expunge that expression from our lexicon in Nigeria, sport-loving governor
The vocabulary of our sport
is
administration.
what is killing sport in Nigeria. What is it? Sport-loving governor, sport-loving governor. So the moment the man leaves, somebody else come in and say, oh, this is not the
no, they are all
sport-loving.
expected to be
This
sport-loving.
club is not doing because we don't have a sport-loving governor. The other governor, why should the governor make Rangers be okay? Why should the governor make Shooting Stars be okay or Kano Pillars, whatever it is? Where are the people?
Ken, as long as we are still relying on government to run sports in Nigeria, we always have that.
All right, so let's move on. Let's see where it is happening. Where Jimmy was talking about the Roger Federer. Okay. Let's take the call first. We have a call on the line. Hello, Loretta.
Hello.
Loretta, how are you?
Hello, good morning. My name is Loretta. I'm fine. My name is Loretta. I'm calling from the UK.
From the UK,
and I want to
okay.
make contributions to. Hello.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you, Loretta. Oh, what is happening to our callers today? Loretta, please do call back, and I know that you get through. The lines are just, asking somehow and getting us off. So we expect your call to come in here. So let's take, while we are waiting for our callers to join the conversation, let's look at how much were made. I will tell you last week that
Naomi Osaka.
she's there with 36 million.
Yeah.
But here these are the top five.
I explained that later, top five.
In the past 12 months.
That's Roger Federer, overtaking the likes of Cristiano Ronaldo and Lionel Messi.
86.2 million pounds.
2 million pounds.
Yes.
This is someone with a lot of endorsement from private.
He's not world number one at the moment.
Absolutely.
He's not the number one. He's not
of that 86 million.
81
million came from endorsement. So
because he has an expansive portfolio of investments and endorsements. And this talks to how players, athletes should be brands. How our federations on their own should be brands.
Yeah. Should be brands.
How we should turn our sports and every property to be brands. If you don't get it right, we'll continue to sit here and talk about monies others are making. Whereas
we are all making it. Igalo, if Igalo is earning £400,000 per week, it will join there. But what, like you said, investment.
Investment. Exactly.
Okay. We are in Enugu, and Ugochukwu is on the line. Hello, Ugochukwu. Ugo, how are you?
Fine. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, I'm following your discussion.
Yeah.
It's really entertaining. I'm into sports too. But I want to know how will you involve the local government is not participating actually in sport in Nigeria.
The sport policy said local government should also take part. I think we did that last week. Continue, Ugo.
Video and studio TV on the 13th and the 14th. Which law will make local government to participate in sports development as grassroots? Which section, which act of law will I want the deputy chairman of the local government know that they are supposed to make input in what the children are doing at the local government level.
Okay, after your call, I promise you, we'll go back. We'll give you the obligations of the local government. We'll look for it and give it to you. We scrolled that last week. We talked about it. Immediately after your call, I will try to get it, and then so maybe we'll let you have it.
Okay.
Yes. So we'll get. I think our producers are listening. So we will also get that.
You see, as simple
the
as
obligation of the local government.
When you look at even the local government,
Yeah.
provide sporting infrastructure. You see, even those small parks that are supposed to be in neighborhoods. Those are something.
Okay. Here it is.
That's for the federal government.
Jimmy, you can take
federal
it. Yes.
government.
Let them take us.
No, take us to the
That's
local
federal,
government.
yeah.
Let's go to the local government, please. Let's take us straight to the local government. Why the discussion continues?
So even
Yeah.
things as small as those neighborhood parks
Yeah.
that should be under the purview of the local government.
Yeah.
They've either sold it to churches, mosques, or wealthy
no,
individuals.
The thing is that
Ken,
they build
what I believe-
shopping. You know, lock up shops. I mean,
Okay.
everywhere is lock.
There are stakeholders at every level.
Yeah.
And I will believe that local government chairmen are supposed to convoke summits
And
that will enable us to have
okay.
this discussion.
Okay,
at
this is
different
local
levels.
government.
And that's local government.
Okay.
The local government.
Ugo, I hope you are watching. Yeah.
The local government, through the supervisory agencies, shall establish local government area sports committee to provide adequate funds for sports in the area. 3.
Encourage
development of physical
education
and sports in schools.
Continue. I mean, it's continuous.
Organize intra-local government sports competitions.
That's dead.
That's dead, Ken.
Provide community-based sports centers in the area.
area.
And that's what I'm speaking to.
Exactly.
If people don't have where to train,
Where-
where will they develop sport at that level?
Go on.
Encourage the formation of sports clubs.
Yes.
Earmark at least 5% of its total budget for sports for the maintenance of sports
No,
facilities
You have even-
and infrastructure.
It's for empowerment. Grinding machine.
And I think one of the things
Yeah.
that comes this is the
Because,
fact
yes.
that most of the supervisory councillors that we have
Yes.
are usually aligned with agriculture.
They call it agreed.
They
Go
call it
on.
So collaborate with the local government education authority board on matters of school sports, payment of subscription to state sports associations, adequate preparation for state competitions.
Yeah. So those are.
Then
So
again,
Ugo,
who is responsible
Yeah.
for tracking what the local government is supposed to do?
Yeah.
It's even part of what is already there in that part,
Yeah.
the administration and
Because-
management.
because
Periodic assessment.
Who does that?
Nobody does it. I mean,
Exactly.
it's
and whatever
unfortunate.
is not measured and tracked, you won't get
most likely
anything
will
out
not
of
work.
it. Will not work.
Yeah. So-
Okay. All right. Okay. We have our next caller. Loretta is back. Okay, Loretta, how are you?
I'm fine. Good morning, sir. How are you? Or good afternoon. How are you?
Afternoon. Yeah.
Hello?
Good afternoon.
I just
Yeah.
want to make a little contribution to the discussion about sports. Yes, good afternoon, sir. I want to make a little contribution to discussion
Okay.
about sports. Well, I think the basic thing is that the sports industry or the sports ministry in Nigeria are not seeing sports as an avenue of employment for the youth. Because when they see that as an avenue of employment for the youth, their mindset will change. I was listening to one of your hosts, and he said they sell all the parks, the churches, and all that. When you live, for example, I live here. The parks owned here are owned by the community, which is obviously local government in Nigeria, owned by the county here. And they don't
Exactly.
sell it to church. You know why? Because it's an opportunity for the youth to grow, an opportunity for the youth to be developed. And when the youth, for example, when the youth is developed, let's say Dele, for example, he played from the park and he grew. Now he's not unemployed. He's employed. And from his employment, he has employed lots of people. What happens? The unemployment rate in this country reduces because of the sports industry. When the government and when those in sports industries seeing sports as a place where you can create employment for youth, the mindset will change. Number two, how do you change that mindset? When you put in people who don't have, you put in a commissioner for sport and he has no fun for sport, he has no desire, no plan, he doesn't know anything about sport, you're not going to get the best. Well, as a state, if you're going to give a commissioner, or because that's about local government policies for sports and all that, I want to talk about that. If a local government chairman or a commissioner of sports is going to give people, is going to be a commissioner of sport, I think give people who know about sport, because when they know about sport, then they would put in the best for the sport in that community, in that state, including
Wow.
Technocrats at
you
all
see-
level,
you see, Ken,
running sports.
absolutely.
You remember
And
this guy
it's
was
a
here.
system.
You
Once a piece is missing,
Yes.
it becomes an issue.
You remember when Dele was here?
Dele Ajakai,
because
yeah.
Ajakai,
Yeah.
because you know we did that. Loretta talking about that. We know in London
Yeah.
there, the parks are there. You enter there, you exercise for free. At a point they were saying if you want to enter National Stadium, you will pay. They will collect money from you before you enter into the National Stadium.
To own sports.
Ken,
If
and
you don't drive sports through the
see,
communities,
let me tell you
might
something.
not get it right.
I live
And
around.
that's the truth.
I live around the Lupeju area.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know of a supervisory councillor, maybe 2-3 administration 10 years ago.
Okay.
Wrote to a particular company to come and renovate that basketball court there.
Okay.
They came because they saw
What he was doing already. Yeah.
They have
They
like
could
3
align
parks
with
there,
him.
and he was able to revive those parks. You see youths in the morning, in the evening, go there to train, and they are
Have
nurturing their talent.
technocrats running sports at all levels.
So what
That
are we
is what-
talking about?
that is-
Allow
is it-
communities
is it-
to own
is it-
No, but that is what
Is
the
it
that is what
rocket
the DC
science?
said.
already
Is it
there.
rocket science to
Yeah.
maintain a park?
It
To
is.
maintain a
It is-
park.
It is in this part, unfortunately.
No, you see, like
We're not ready.
like we have said, when we stop personalizing,
Exactly.
when you have a structure in place, when you have a system that you have to follow, when you have an organogram that you have to follow, you
in
won't
this
get
part,
into
we
all
rather,
this.
we rather,
Like I
we
said,
rather honor the administrators.
we
instead of
glorify
making brands of players.
exactly
Of players.
Okay, let's see, because like we said, the things are opening up, and then in UK, I think it's the sport minister also did say yes. Okay, we have another caller on the line. Jerry's on the line. Hello, Jerry.
Hello. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Jerry.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Jerry.
Yeah. Yeah, good afternoon. I like what you're doing. It's an interesting program. But there's something I want to confirm. What is happening to a lot of sports? A lot of sports in all the states sport in Nigeria. There's like Rovers of Calabar. Nobody's hearing about it again. So
one day we'll look at all those things. And like I said, some of those things are privately owned. Most of them are government owned. When we're growing up in Lagos, if you look at it, one day I will bring the list of the first division. You have Mandela's Lions. You have Leventis United. You have Air Force. You have First Bank, ACB, the banks are there. We have superstores, so a lot of those, and even Nigerian National Supply, NNSC, they are all there. Nigerian Airways. So when you see all these names, they are companies or parastatals who are doing well.
Niger Doc.
Of course, Niger Doc. So basically that is what is happening. So we Rovers of Calabar. That is, I think,
Even Julius Berger used to.
Julius Berger at a point.
What was that? Hello. Okay, we are going on a very short break, and when we come back, yes, Channel Sport on Sunday continues. Stay with us.
I'm sure have not done bad for themselves. They're moving the ball around pretty well. Need to exchange your passes. But I think what really let them down was the fact that their first touch, their final touch, I beg your pardon, always seemed to let them down. You get the ball and then you're unable to do anything when you face the goalkeeper. I think you have to be potent enough when you get your chance to try as much as possible to convert them. They have another opportunity, but yet again, the defense of the boys from Kwara does well. And he shoots this time, but the same one as the goalkeeper goes to ground easily and holds it. But this young man is down, striding in pain, and the medical team will rush to attend to him. Femi, what would you make of these boys from Kwara? Last year, we saw them in the finals. They were tamed by their opponents from Ogun State. Look at them around this time. Like, what do you think they did differently?
Well, a lot more. They're more precise in attack. They're more composed in the middle of the park, and they know how to take the free kicks. Deserve some accolades, but they've also paid their dues, and they've paid it in full. I mean, they were here last year as Kwara State, and they lost in the final. So back in the finals, definitely, it's a long, hard road. Even though it was not the same school, we must emphasize on that. But it was still a representative of Kwara State. But coming back, and then knowing that, their state team got this far and were this close to winning the title, they managed to gradually build the momentum, and I think they came with that business mind right from the very first game, 2-0, you know, against their opponents in that game. Kaduna, yes, I remember now, and then they went on to beat Edo 2-0 as well. On facing Osun State, who they are playing today, it was a draw before they ended up, you know, going up onto the finals as we gradually wait for the referee to signal the kick that will be taken now. It's going to be a very interesting free kick. Yet again, we've seen already 3 goals from set pieces. Maybe we'll see another one, but the wall does its duty there, and the ball goes out. And you can see all the players putting their hands together for themselves from Kwara as the danger goes out. So kudos to Kwara. Unofficially, on their way to lifting that trophy. I mean, reminds you of yesterday's UEFA Champions League finals with the way it was. But hey, Osun now with and the defender does his duty right at the near post, clearing that ball out from pressure to the goalkeeper in any way. It was Zakian who did that, and now it's going to be another one, but it's taken shot by Osun State as they try to work something out, but that player was crowded by the defenders who end up heading the ball out, and that's the end, ladies and gentlemen. It's all over, and we have a new champion right here at the Channels International Kids Cup, and it is going to be Central LGA from Kayama, Kwara State, officially the champions of the 10th season of the Channels International Kids Cup. You can see despair in the faces of the boys from Osun State, Raymond.
Surely, I tell you that nobody wants to lose, everybody wants to win, but everybody cannot win at the same time. The young man who I said told me before now that
And I know that people are also eager for news of the return of live sports and the arts. And I know that the last few months have felt rather odd without them, and our calendars have been strangely bare. Finding creative, crowd-free ways to navigate coronavirus is the biggest challenge for our recreation and leisure sectors right now. So this week, I'm setting up a renewal task force which will help them bounce back. It'll be made up of the brightest and the best from creative, tech and sporting worlds.
Okay, you're welcome back. That's the UK government telling them that, look, from June you can start. Where has the way of putting this is better? Where you welcome to the show.
Ken, thanks for having me. The COVID is about 3 L's, as we've been told: lives, livelihood, and liberty. So where you can target something from the livelihood, you'll be proactive, which is what they are doing.
Exactly.
Now, you were talking about Roger Federer being the highest paid sportman now. And the Swiss government will be happy because with a tax of 11.5%, that is something to take you out of. It will add to your bottom line.
Exactly.
For Ronaldo, they had a flat rate for non-resident guys who are Portuguese of 20%.
Okay.
So once you know you can get, if Ronaldo is earning $85 million, and you can get like 20%.
85 million pounds.
Pounds.
Yes.
Because it could also go as high as 48%.
Yes, that's almost about 17%. About 17 million, that's about 17 million pounds.
In this recession, if that goes to LIRS in Lagos State,
it's a lot of money.
It's something. So where you have that livelihood, you can actually envisage. And that's why Jimmy was saying, or whether it was MDR, let there be that enabling environment. If it's there, you do something.
Government will be earning instead of spending.
And that's why I said it's a cycle.
So instead of doling out palliatives, you are even getting from them.
Oh, but don't you think it is a tragedy that that football as it is, that has the mass followership that no other sport has, that a 5-year-old and an 85-year-old, we enthusiastic when Nigeria is playing or whatever it is, that government is still funding professional club. Is that professionalism in that? That is, it's not even an amateur club. When you depend on government to put money to run professional clubs.
See, Ken, I think with our professional football in quote, we have a way of always living in the future continuous things.
All right, let's go to Abeokuta. Hello, Bayo.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, so I just want to add to the talk of conversation.
Yeah.
What we have happening in Nigeria today around sports governance is actually very worrisome. I'll take a cue from 3 states. I'll say Lagos, Ogun, that I'm calling from, and Edo State. There is no successive government in Lagos that will not want to perform as far as sport is concerned. Let me start from Fashola, the recent one, Ambode, and the current one. So the template has been there. So they will not want to actually fail as far as sports governance is concerned. But look at Ogun State. Say, for example, if we have people that are actually trying to work on what has been working, right, it will be helpful for them. So, because Lagos and Ogun, they have the way of actually collaborating. So the Marathon Festival has actually been helpful in that regard. But what about other sports? You talk about, so we'll talk about football, we'll talk about badminton, and even the facilities. So, say for example, the current sports festival that should happen in Edo State. I don't know what will actually happen this year. Talk about government linking up with politics and all of that. So, what we really need to happen is so that we can have serious-minded people to lead sports administration in Nigeria. If we don't have that and the templates and management, we'll keep actually running around the same cycle. I will not get any results.
Anywhere.
Thank you very much. Sir.
Almost on no movement. Thank you very much, Bayo. Before my guys take it over, to be fair to Ogun State, where you are calling from, he just mentioned it. When Bukola Olakpade was the commissioner for sports and the Gateway Games were held, they run it purely on a private sponsorship, and they made a profit. Just like when South Africa hosted the All Africa Games before Nigeria, Danny Jordan, they came up at the end of the day, said, this is how much we spend, this, how much this, this. But when it came down to Nigeria, at the end of the day, we could not, at the end of it, between the Accountant General of the Federation and the LOC, there was a 30 billion difference, because they were saying whether they spent 60 or 90 billion. They couldn't arrive at even how much was spent to host the All Africa Games. They couldn't.
You had the equipment coming way long after the game had ended.
After the game had ended.
Equipment meant for the game.
For the games, arriving.
After the game had ended in Koja.
There was a 30 billion difference. 30 billion naira difference.
Yes. The more we continue to treat this thing as having fun, not as business entity, as a going concern,
as career for those who are talented.
We'll continue to have this kind of problem Adebayo just spoke about, because you have to be accountable. You give your stewardship, but if it's tied to every budgeting circle you get from the state get from federation account, the state disburse, so now they say, okay, legislation and judiciary will have a direct charge. So the other guys, what you get, you share. Next year, you wait for the same time, and the cycle.
Can you please enlighten us, because sometimes a lot of us are lost. We've just talked about the private presence, in sports from the 70s, 80s, 90s. Tennis, about Lord Rumens. Yes. You have Okada, the Okada tennis tournament that was taking place. We've talked about all the clubs and parastatals that were supporting. What really happened?
National trials.
Where did
we track and field?
No, yeah, where did we? Where that disconnect? Where did it actually started? At what point did we say, okay, fine, everything has to be government, with that, whatever. Okay, let's go down to Kogi State because we have our next caller here. Hello.
Hello. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I just like your comment this afternoon.
Thank you very much.
Anytime you're having your program, I'll sit beside my television to hear everything about sports.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Look, the only advice I want to advise, since you are taking the leading role on the Channel Tips competition, it has been the best. Channel has been the best. So we want you to have a club as a role example.
Okay.
For Nigeria to see. We want you to have a senior club so that you can take a role. That's the only advice I want to advise.
Thank you.
Because you are taking the leading role already.
Thank you very much. Thank you. God bless you. Thank you very much. Okay.
Yeah, we can't divorce sport from the economy.
Yeah.
I was just having a discussion background now, and as at in the 80s, even up to the late 90s.
Yeah.
You have Manufacturers Cup in Lagos. you know, clubs on the highland were playing the Oba Cup.
Yes.
Mainland were manufacturers club.
Yes.
And virtually all clubs in that Ikeja Agege axis, they had
Exactly.
their football clubs, and they were well funded.
Yes.
Do you understand? So it was a private driven arrangement, not even public sector. Now, SAP came in. Access to FS became a problem. Companies were shutting down. Factories were turning to something else. Other people were making use of factories. Production became...
It's good you don't mention it.
Production became something of our historical past.
We now became importing instead of producing.
Instead of a producing nation. So that's why I said you can't actually divorce the economy from the sport. So when we had problem with our economy, our sport, just because the sporting aspect is not the core function of those of a business.
So they needed to focus on their
corporate social responsibility. Yes.
So that is the first thing that just needs to go. So I think that was where we
because it's not a social responsibility.
But again, the government are also playing lip service because if you check the charter of Shooting Stars, they say the number one item they want it to be a professionally run club. And since then, and that's why I carefully chose that word, future continuous tense. Since then, nothing on ground shows that Shooting Stars Sport Club is being run as a professional club. They've
turned to Bolton of Nigeria. Yo. Today they are up, next tomorrow they are down. Anyway, they're even still better than Stars. I don't know where they are now. Guys, I know you guys are up there. We prick you, we touch you a bit. But some good news because let's go to France. Let's go to France where Osimhen and Moses Simon are doing so well. Moses Simon, they just Nantes, his club said the fans voted him as the player of the season with over 40%.
Absolutely. And that's why he got under 4-year contract.
You understand?
Exactly. Absolutely. The guy has done so well for himself. That's talking about Moses Simon, who came on loan from Levante.
Yeah.
He's gotten 9 goals, 8 assists this season. Plus that got a bouncing baby.
Yeah.
And
Victor Osimhen.
Victor Osimhen, Lille, the top scorer in Lille with 13 league goals from 27 matches. 21 years old Eagles striker who has gotten 4 goals in 9 international appearances. He was 2 times player of the month in Lille. For August and September in 2019. So they both had a good season.
All right, we have a call on the line. Hello, Don.
Yeah, hello.
Yeah.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yeah.
Go on.
I'm Comrade Dozie.
Okay, Comrade Dozie, how are you?
I'm fine.
Yeah.
I'm the Nantes National Director of Sports.
Nantes?
Nantes, National Association of Nigerian Students, the Director of Sports, National.
National Association of Nigerian Students, Nantes. Beautiful. Yes. All right, let's hear you. Which university do you attend?
Nnamdi Azikiwe.
Okay. All right, go on.
Yeah. Nnamdi Azikiwe.
Yeah, go on.
My issue is on developing sports on our institutions.
Go on.
Back to our campuses.
Okay.
Which is no more. There is no more sports. And as director of sports, can you hear me?
Yeah. Go on. Just go on. You are loud and clear.
Okay. I said my issue is about bringing sports back to our campuses. Bringing sports back to our campuses is a problem. And those people managing the institutional games are not helping matters at all. So I want to know how can we be able to know with the officers managing the sports aspects under the student community, how we can be able to bring up games that can unite our students, which, sports, there is no more sports, which they said, play no game, make Jack a dull boy. After our lectures of times ago, there is always sports which students use to entertain themselves, keep themselves busy,
Okay. At the national level, I think we have Nuga Games, we have the Nipoga Games, and then in your school, like you are the director of sport, you can start from there. You can have within your faculty, you can have interdepartmental games. They can have interfaculty games. You can have even different hostel games. There are segments.
While in Zaria, our interfaculty game, whether Dean's Cup or Babashani
exactly
for the law student, the crowd. The crowd will challenge those crowd in MPS.
Let's talk to Dozie.
Exactly.
So that's what I'm saying.
Same for my time in UI.
Yes.
You even see ladies, guys participating in interdepartmental. We saw it as a thing of joy.
Yes.
And I can say when I left, we were the champions.
It was not something that the students were dependent on the school
on the school.
Yeah. All you need to get is just to get the clearance.
Yes, we're going to organize.
So Dozie, I hope you are listening. Just like when you're in secondary school, you are doing how do we say it? In secondary school, there is a interhouse, interclass, interhouse, interlevel, maybe class 1 playing class 2 or something like that. So you look at your segment.
Create enough competition.
Okay, can we, as we close, can we advise Dozie on how they can go about it?
Okay,
we are going now.
Okay. For instance, the last match I officiated officially was in match between Nigerian students and Cameroonian students in Zaria.
Okay.
So it was a private arrangement. So for students, you don't need to depend on school authority. All they need to do is to just give that clearance to make use of the space.
Of the school.
And again, for some incentive, back then we reached out to organizations within our area of domain. Just a little token to say support the team, and it's good leverage for your brand.
Exactly.
And they did.
So does it say that you heard what they say, like you said, your departments, your faculty, or whatever, and then you reach out to the companies within your community, Nnamdi Azikiwe University, go and reach out to them and say, look, you guys support us, we are having this in the school, we are having that, a lot of info, and then I tell you, it is a place to start with. All right, let's go down. I'm told, they say, Ken, it is time for you to go. And on behalf of my team, I want to say thank you for all of you who called, and those of you watching at home, and Ken Ochonogo, stay blessed.